In Title Update 2, set to release this summer, new monsters will be introduced into the wilds. Monsters. There's an S. There is an S. We have an S! Hello, my fellow hunters. Today is an exciting day, not just because we're on the precipice of punching monsters to death as Akuma, but because we have a new director's letter. And based on the reveals in the last one, this is gonna be good. So, getting straight into it then, a message from director Tokuda-san. Hello, hunters. Hi, this is Yuya Tokuda, director of Monster Hunter Wilds. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone that's played that game. Version 1.011 is planning to release May 28th, very, very soon. And we are going to get some more content. So first up, the Street Fighter 6 special collaboration, and yes, look at that! 3 actual items on your bars to use and do various combos. It really is, oh my god, it really is a pseudo 15th weapon. 14.5 at a minimum. Oh, forget the memes, it is just a thing! Look at that! You actually do your normal attack key buttons to do different moves! You have a fucking L2R1 focus strike-esque input that will do the offset when you... Okay, I'm gonna do ahead of myself. So 3 items will be added to the item bar. Assisted combo Akuma, drive impact, and go Hadouken. So the full armor set grants extra bonuses. So I'm assuming then that to get the most out of it, you do want to be literally wearing Akuma, not just layered, which makes sense because otherwise it would kind of just become maybe meta to everyone looking like Akuma, which while hilarious for a while, would probably get old quickly. In any case, the assisted combo then, from the item bar consecutively to pull off a combo. When performing it, you can press triangle circle to activate different moves. That is just amazing. Your drive gauge fills over time, so we actually have a meter to manage and use, you know, like many weapons do. And then a drive impact can be performed by selecting the move in the item bar or by... So you do just have actual inputs. You don't have to use the item bar. That's so good. When Akuma's full armor set is equipped, which I'm assuming is literal, not layered, otherwise everyone's just going to gain an offset, you gain an offset with it, which is amazing. And then hitting a wound or a weak point will activate the Shun Goku Setsu, and that will gain stun properties and, I assume, extra attackiness. We will, of course, test and be with you as soon as possible with just how powerful this can become and how viable it is, but I mean, they seem pretty convinced that we're going to be killing the hardest monsters in the game with this, with a little bit of effort, which is incredibly exciting. Oh, gesture hunting is really on the menu, and then some. That's so fun. Okay. 8-star challenging monsters. So, tempered 8-star gore, magala, raidao, duna, new udra, and dahaad will become available from HR 41. That's very, very nice, and they have got more health, resistance to wounding, kind of like the arch-tempered treatment, and even multiplayer scaling tweaks. Tempered gore magala is highlighted to be especially brutal, and I feel like he's somehow going to become the new hardest monster in the game, at least based on 8-star Mizutsune. I do worry about arkveld. I hope he's getting these changes too, otherwise he's going to still be the kind of baby fodder for everyone to farm, but hey, maybe that's not a bad thing. In any case, I can't wait to do all of these with Cotton. And then higher difficulty quests will now appear more frequently as your HR increases. That's really, really nice. And multiple monster and tempered quests are going to be increased too. So that just makes getting what you actually want to hunt with resting and stuff a lot easier. Title Update 2 then. In Title Update 2, set to release in this summer, new monsters will be introduced to Wilds. And yes, the S, that glorious S. Now, whether that is new monsters in the sense that they're including the arch-tempered, which obviously was going to happen once per title update, and one of the apexes will of course be next if they're going down that theme, but they wouldn't highlight it as well as a new arch-tempered monster if it was part of the initial monsters. unless the monsters is similar to Title Update 1, New Tempered Monsters 8-star, and they're just referring to what will ultimately be 8-star Tempered Legiacrus. But either way, surely it would be this summer a new monster will be introduced and a new tempered monster 8-star if it was just Legiacrus. So I'm calling this grounds for hope that it's going to be a meatier Title Update 2 than we think, but in any case it's nice to get some information on it. Though when is this summer? Please, when? Tell us when. Furthermore, even stronger monsters are planned to be added in later updates, of course. Balance adjustments. As mentioned in the previous letter, we're implementing various balance adjustments in this update and Title Update 2. First, in this update coming, the hammer, hunting horn, gunlance, light bowgun, and heavy bowgun have all had changes. Wow! 5 weapons have been given the boost, and gunlance artian have been given a upgrade too, which was actually sorely needed, though then again, maybe not, because if it's good enough now they're going to join the artian forever train, so that might be a monkey paw curls kind of moment. While some weapons have had certain parameters adjusted downward, okay, so nerfs are a thing, other parameters have had been adjusted upwards. And viewed in totality, I think you'll find that all weapon types have had their possibilities expanded. So, seemingly positive overall, or at least is their goal. The hammer is planned to receive various improvements in Title Update 2, but it's also getting increases here as well, so the hammer's really getting a lick of paint and some love, including the addition of offset effects for certain attacks. Are they getting a second offset in the kit? That would be really cool. And something I actually talked about with Colin, how I think hammer would totally work as a double offset weapon. And they're actually getting a proper official follow-up too. That is actually huge. Other weapons that will also receive changes in Title Update 2, such as the dual blades. So not just the dual blades, but such as. So weapon changes are going to be a consistent thing throughout Wilds' update cycle, which is really, really exciting. Quality of life improvements then is always good to see. Hey, you can now rest in the Grand Hub and Suja, that's really, really good. And it restores destroyed pop-up camps, also just very, very nice. No longer the confirmation when you get an item while you're full, it just goes into your box like it should. That's really, really nice. Cleaned up some UI stuff. Notification frequency in locales has been lowered and only high priority targets will be displayed. That's really nice as well. And general other improvements too. Title Update 2 is going to get some seikret usability, skill viewing details, and the ever ominous and promising more. But all of this is very, very good. A lot of it is very clear things that we've been asking for, especially like the confirmation item box thing, so it's really nice to see it actually be implemented, you know. Oh, so this is the endemic life displayer. So not somewhere in the game, but a list you can go down your captured endemic life and actually get a proper look at the model for it. I mean, it's not as good as having it in-game somewhere running around, but it is a nice feature to actually just get the 3D model and properly enjoy it and examine the endemic life that you've caught, and arguably you're going to get a lot more detail out of this than just trying to find it running around in the game, though I do hope we still eventually get a place to properly display them, but this is a really nice step up from what we already have. Okay, in the Windward Plains, you can check the endemic life to view your creatures and their names as well, and their names? Oh wait, no, their names. For a second I was like, could we name each endemic life we've caught? Oh my god! As well as the size and weight of the fish you've caught. You can also favorite creatures so that they'll be kept even if you go over the maximum storage capacity. If we can favorite them so they'll be kept, just make the Windward Plains tent pull from your favorited endemic life as what it displays running round and the fish in the bucket. That way you can just favorite a single one of each and guarantee that's the one to get displayed. That feels like it's right there, a slam dunk waiting to happen. But still, huge improvement. Individual creatures can have different patterns or other unique elements, so they are different between members of the same species, and this model viewer will actually highlight that. That's really cool. So it won't just say Vigorwasp times 9, it'll be Vigorwasp in a big row, and each one will be slightly different as you look at it. That's really neat. In Title Update 2, positions and movements of your seikret handler will be adjusted so they don't interfere. That's really, really nice. In addition, character display toggle is planned, and an option to toggle off the glowing effect from your skills and items. Yes, that's really good. We have been heard, and layered weapons are planned to be implemented in Title Update 2, which makes that one a lot meatier immediately. Other updates, so various game stability increases, as always is nice to see in these, and then we have ourselves an increase in rewards for 8-star investigations. Guild points for fishing has been rebalanced, which is a little bit of a shame, though it was incredibly effective. Even more stronger monsters planned in future updates. A new system will be added where rewards and equipment that allows you to diversify your skill builds can be earned. So we are going to get, like, perhaps the curious crafting, etc. The late game title update added new layer of buildiness that we tend to get these days. That is a thing that's going to happen. There is a lot to dig into here, like a lot of implications. At least I think that's the correct way to interpret this. I mean, directly a new system will be added, and its rewards will allow you to diversify skill builds. So that's really, really interesting. Looking ahead, steady support of Monster Hunter Wilds and new content and balance changes and all of that loveliness. Thank you for your continued support and happy hunting! I mean, yeah, this is all incredibly positive news, some incredibly good changes, some exciting new stuff is coming, and all around this whole letter is just a big W. Really, I don't think you can look at it as any other way, and I can't wait to play with the pseudo 15th weapon soon. Then we have some more literal patch notes in a line-by-line sense, as opposed to the kind of overview letter, so we actually get what's going on with the Collab. We get the specifics on the new tempered monsters and the changes that we talked about. What's interesting to me is new armor talismans and skills have been added. So is the Akuma armor going to have a unique skill on it? Because it feels like that's maybe going to happen, because there isn't any other new armors being added. There's no new monsters in this update, right? It's just Akuma and Akuma's armor, so especially talismans as well. Are we getting a few talismans upgraded in this, again without new monster materials? I am very, very curious. In any case, we get the aquatic life page as well, as opposed to the endemic life one, and then we get various fixes, which is very, very nice to see. We've got some missions being tuned, we've got some monsters being tuned, and this is a shame because, you know, it's very fun to see a monster get stuck, but it does make sense. Monsters resistant to paralysis now gain more paralysis resistance each time it's triggered them. I didn't even know that wasn't happening, but hey, it's no longer happening, so I suppose that's a shame. And then we've got guild points for whoppers. That might actually become the new way to farm guild points. It's something worth testing. And then a load of general changes. Rocksteady now ignoring stun is really, really nice. Resting will now reset the cooldown for all mantles, which is phenomenal. And then we get into some weapon changes. Some issues being fixed. The greatsword one is whatever. The other weapons I can't really comment on as much, but for the most part they seem minor until we get to the weapons that are actually, you know, adjusted by the patch. So the hammer, the overall power of it's gone up. Element scaling for charge shot overhead smash has been increased. You can now evade while readying an upswing. That's really, really fun. Responsiveness increased. Extra hit zone size. The cancel timing for Focus Blow Earthquake is now slightly earlier. These are all really positive changes for now, and remember we're going to get even more hammer changes in Title Update 2, like an extra offset and a follow-up for offset, seemingly. So yeah, hammer mains are eating good. The Hunting Horn, Echo Bubble, Performance and Focus Strike Reverb, damage has been increased, Encore has been greatly increased, and cancel timings for Encore and Offset melee are now slightly earlier. Also very, very nice. Gunlance, the overall power and attacks and element scaling has been increased, which is crazy because Gunlance is one of the strongest weapons in the game, so let's see how this actually shakes out, but a lot of positives going on there. Insect glaive, just issues being fixed, which again is nice. One of the Okay, that's a wall of bowgun goodness. A lot of damage has increased. A lot of damage adjacent things like critical range has been increased. Wow, Gauge consumption decreased as well. Generally, this is an amazing set of changes across the board, and all of these are going to need some deep testing, and we, of course, will do that deep testing. Same with the heavy bowgun, a lot of similar changes. I hope this does do things like make sticky actually relevant, spread actually relevant, because they're just dead. There's so many ammo types that simply don't get used, so this is potentially really exciting. And then more fixes. This is so sad to read. Does this mean the change in the last update where maximum might now just doesn't deactivate if you refill stamina before the 2 seconds was a bug, and that's going to get fixed? Because that's actually going to affect a lot of things, and I really hope that's not the case. But watch this space. Again, we will test literally all of this. That's so funny. Decreased how often Alma can go sightseeing because it's annoying. Oh, reduce the frequency of Pure Wasp and Vigor Wasp delivery. That's so sad. Though that's actually really good as well, and as is the speed. Interesting. I will wonder how that shakes out for Immortal. I'm probably the only person in the world that actually reads that and goes, no! Then some system changes, some quest fixes, and the classic other. So there you have it, guys. A quick little roundup of lots of incredible things, and a lot of it is deeply worth exploring, well, deeper, and you can bet we will. For now, though, let me know what you're thinking, let me know what your most exciting little revealy change is, and like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.